for that. So Chris, from a tax and income perspective, how does debt impact retirees?
Well, you got to define the debt first, right? There's good debt and bad debt. There's a lot of people that I'm very jealous of right now that have 2-3% home interest rates, right?
Yes.
But there are individuals that are downsized and they're walking into more like a 5, 6, 7% rate. And one of the things that you hopefully would like to not bring into retirement is a mortgage. But even worse than all of that we just mentioned is credit card debt. More and more people are carrying debt on high interest credit cards. And once you've retired, you're now, I hate to say it, but you're kind of on a fixed budget, right? Pensions, Social Securities, distributions, things like that. And so can you really absorb some of these really high interest rate bearing items, right? And it really kind of eats up in the buying power because it's not if, but when life throws you a curveball, how much liquid savings can you reach in and touch?
Sure, that's a great point. So what are some of the biggest types of debt that retirees can carry?
Well, like he just mentioned, we see a lot of mortgage going into retirement, which can be okay. If somebody's got a rental portfolio, they've got a little bit of debt, they're making income off of it. That can be good debt.
Advantage there.
But really, it's the things that are like credit card debt or personal loans, things that have higher interest rates that we stay a little bit away from once we go into retirement.
Right, you try to, some like medical debt and student loans and
Absolutely.
all those kind of things.
Well, you see people these days with taking car loans 50, 60, 70 months. We're not buying a house, we're buying a car, right? So sometimes it's really good to take a step back and kind of see just what is the total amount of interest you're going to pay on this purchase from start to finish. And that may make you want to pause for a second and maybe recalibrate.
Mm-hmm.
No, that is smart. So Chris, how does carrying that debt affect long-term retirement security?
So what we're talking about is when it comes to long-term retirement security is it's not really say, hey, how do we fund the first 10 years of my retirement? It's those last 10 years that really keep people up at night. And the majority of people that are moving into retirement, especially if you're married, you might have been married 15, 20, 30 plus years, right? The death of the first spouse, unfortunately, you didn't go into a single bracket. And the generation that we're talking to right now on television, you guys were trained to overload your retirement accounts that you have not paid tax on, like your IRAs, your TSPs, your 401ks, and things like that. And so that those monies come out as ordinary income. So if you're having to take out excess monies, that's going to balloon up artificially what your true income is. And that could upset what you're doing from a Medicare Part B and D. That can upset what you're doing just for like long-term income planning. So it may seem small that, hey, look, we just want to take an extra $500 a month, but you really got to look at it more from a percentage standpoint, right? Are you taking out 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% annually? That can really change things.
So what are some solutions, Dustin, that people that are retired and they have this debt, what can they do?
Well, you can always start paying it off. I mean, it sounds kind of like a simple answer.
That should be the first thing.
But it really is stop buying. It is really stop digging further, stop digging the hole and start trying to get yourself out of debt. And also, I know it's hard to say no to the kids.
Yes.
But you have to. You have to think about, like Chris mentioned a while ago, they're now on a fixed income. They can't just go pick up overtime.
It's not coming in anymore.
Right. So now you're on a fixed income. You need to make sure and start eliminating debt. Try to reduce what you've already got.